The capacitor should charge very quickly.
We'll still have to wire them up, Captain. That's going to be the real job. Captain, I'll need a little help positioning the clamps correctly while wiring them. Captain, push harder. I'll need these tighter to get more power.
I'm giving it all I got, Scotty.
This end's ready, Captain. One projectile ready to go, Captain. Thank you, Captain. This'll be just like old times.
School must miss you dearly, Mr. Scott.
Check-off takes the capacitor off of the Aurora generator. Check-off takes the capacitor off of the Aurora generator.
We made a bit of a mess here, didn't we?
The gas canister is a bit beat up from the fall, but still functional.
The curator mentioned these were in each room.
We could open the door and spray it on the terrorists.
If it's fast enough to stop them from using their phasers, it'll stop us too.
And they'd get a warning if the door started to open. Time enough to put the hostages in jeopardy.
I don't think McCoy would like this transporter, Captain. Even I would not want to use this one.
You? Not use a piece of equipment? Why not, Mr. Scott?
This little beastie put out a wee bit of energy discharge during transport. You've heard of the Heisenberg uncertainty principle.
Of course, Mr. Scott.
Well, this is the Mulligan certainty field, guaranteed to do bad things to you even Dr. McCoy cannot fix. You can block the radiation, but she's not something I'd want to play with unless I absolutely had to. You'd have to repair the wires anyway. And the power unit's been pulled out too. You think Uhura would like it if we swapped this one for hers?
Scotty, I never took you for having a death wish.
Actually, Captain, this one's not in bad shape. They took the transmitting gear and she's got no power, but other than that, she's in fine condition. They run a ship-shaped museum here.
Security lockdown is in effect. Please enter access code.
It probably wouldn't hurt anything to take one crystal. It's just a display after all. This one looks good.
There's only a wee bit of juice in this capacitor, but I think it'll be enough to power up the robot. It's a tight squeeze, Captain. I don't think we'll be able to get it back out once it's in. Should I go ahead and do it?
We could use the help, Mr. Scott. Energize the robot.
The access panel is stuck, Captain. I don't think any of us are strong enough to pull it free. Barney, open the pod bay door. I knew it. They forgot to take out the fuel cell. That fusion reactor always scares people enough that they forget the backup cell. It's dry now. You'd need to wet this beauty down and get a catalyst in her. Better than brandies? More than Stums? Look out, fuel cell. Here she comes. I hate to see a sweet liquid used for something other than tasting, but at least it'll work a fair bit in here. It's a good thing to build in so much flexibility. The silver isn't a bad catalyst and will act as a contact too.
All hooked up and charging, Captain.
All ready to go, Captain.
You remove the silver tray.
This should work. I hope. It wasn't easy, but the wiring's fixed, Captain.
It's never easy, is it, Mr. Scott?
Aye, Captain. It's in there, Captain.
It's inside. We should wait until it's time to transport before we activate the valve.
Good idea, Ensign.
That wasn't easy, Captain. I don't think the beastie wanted to give it up.
I hope the Enterprise looks this good when it's this old. This reminds me of the time when I was a boy working on my first electronics project. I built one of those old crystal radios. With luck, we'll be able to get this transmitter working. It's been a while, but I think that will work.
I rigged up an isolated piece of frame in there as one conducting plate and the tray as the other. It's not the best solution, but it's the best I can do here.
All hooked in, Captain.
Well, let's see how well this works. Kirk to Enterprise. Kirk to Enterprise. Enterprise, come in.
Who is this?
This is Captain Kirk of the Starship Enterprise. I'm in the Smithsonian Museum, where hostages are being held.
How interesting. I'm in the Smithsonian Museum holding hostages.
Who am I talking to?
My name is Lucas. I'm a member of the Lockian family, Onakan.
I've never heard of the Onakan family.
It's no surprise you haven't heard of us, even though we're one of the largest and oldest families on Lockian. Just shows how much the Federation believes the lies the Saransi pass along.
I find it unlikely the Federation will take sides.
If the Federation isn't backing the Saransi, how do you explain a ceremony giving the Saransi the Quelke? Obviously, the Federation believes their lies.
The Kelki? You mean the probe?
It is more than just a probe to us. The Quelke discovered Lockian generations ago. The entire race owes its existence to the Quelke.
I knew it had great significance. I just didn't know there was anyone else involved.
The Saransi presently have control of the communication facilities. They've been restricting access to make their positions seem more powerful.
So you feel you have a legitimate claim on the Kelki?
We have as much claim to that probe as anyone.
Does the Saransi also have a right to the Kelki?
Of course they do, but no more than we have.
Then this situation should be looked into more closely by the Federation. We're here with the best intentions. You want peace? We want peace.
Is that an offer?
That's a guarantee.
Then we have a deal. We will turn off the security override and give ourselves up. And trust the word of Captain Kirk.
Mr. Chekhov, have Dr. McCoy beam down to make sure the curator and guards are all right. Mr. Scott, lower the museum's shields and have a security team beamed aboard. Captain's log supplemental. The terrorists had already turned off the security override. After putting the 3 Onakans in custody, it was decided that the probe would not be returned to the Saransi. Federation mediators will visit Lockian to assist in the negotiations on the fate of this artifact. The fact that they gave up voluntarily when they could have possibly escaped and injured no one certainly made points for the Onakan's claim. Curator Brezhnev was treated by Dr. McCoy and is in good health. Commendations are in order for Scott and Chekhov for meritorious service. Lieutenant Uhura, send a message to Admiral Richards. Tell him he owes me more than he thinks he does.
Aye, sir. I have a feeling he's not going to be surprised.
I'm afraid I'm going to remember this mission with a great deal of sadness, Captain.
Why is that, Mr. Scott?
It was such a fine cognac, Captain. It was just waiting for us, and now it's gone forever. Such a waste. You always remember the one that got away.
Sure, Scott.
Captain, message incoming from Starfleet.
I see they got our report. On screen.
I reviewed your report from your recent assignment, Captain, and have a few comments. I am very pleased with your performance. It was a perfect mission, Jim. Your reputation as Starfleet's best starship captain is secure. Kane out.